It's not hot out. It's not. This isn't heat. This is something else. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. This is something. I had to Google 1700s terms for heat just to properly explain it. This is endurant. This is bursile. This is calify. This is muth. This is muth. This is fire fanged. This is muck sweat. I am out here muck sweating in my force walk.
Hey, fun fans! It's We Enjoy. We've got news and use for you this week. We are the Matt Fowler.
I mean, you are.
We are too. Today, Eric, you're the Matt Fowler as well.
Oh shit!
We are the Mattitude, Eric. I'm Matt Fowler. Say hello, Matt Fowler.
This is like a Venom situation. We are Matt Fowler. Hello, everybody. I'm actually Eric Goldman, but I can be Matt Fowler today.
Don't believe his lies. We're going to start things off with the least surprising news on here, which is that George Lucas loves Minions. Has anything ever just sat as well as that news? Like, it just fits. Of course he loves Minions. Why would he not love Minions? Is he going to go to the Universal Kids Resort? I wonder what he thinks of it. I'd like to see his Instagram influencer take on that apparent shit show. But yes. So much so that Lucas is in the new Minions and Monsters movies that's coming out as himself.
Is he? Wait, he can't be himself.
Is he a Minion?
I don't think we know what he is because it's set in the 20s. It's about the silent film era and Minions getting.
I just assumed he was playing George Lucas on the set. I didn't know it took place in the way back. But
okay. No, I mean I'm assuming he might play a director. Or someone, a filmmaker of some sort, but I do not believe he'll be playing
George Lucas,
yes.
Silent film.
No, auteur. George Mucus, because it's Minions.
That works really well. There is. I'm assuming there are poop jokes, but I'm assuming there are fart jokes too. I'm assuming there are jokes that emit from all orifices in this new Minions and Monsters movie, which is going to clear $1 billion or something. I don't know what movies make nowadays. It'll make 800 million at least. But yeah,
they all do really well. For what it's worth, this one looks pretty good. They showed us a bunch of it at CinemaCon, and then there's been a lot of good buzz out of early screenings, and I'm not surprised because it actually does look like a totally different type of movie because it's got this whole like old Hollywood setting. But I do love that George Lucas just implicitly loves Minions and his, because he's the weirdest guy. He's the weirdest guy. And, because we're in the Seesaw era and people like hated him so much and we're like making documentaries about, everything wrong with him. But now they just want him back. And to think of the insanity of what he would have given us if he was still making Star Wars movies, like the ways he would have pissed us. I understand Star Wars is pissing people off anyway. I'm just saying he would have had some amazing.
Oh, I know the way that they can sort of retcon their own, feelings that he would somehow save the universe that he created when he already ruined it for people. I don't know. They're delusional, have blinders on about what they think they would like what he has to offer, but he would offer something so beyond what a Minion is, and so beyond what Jar Jar was. He would come up with some new kid-oriented atrocity that would make so many people upset that maybe it's almost worth it just for that, just to see what he would come up. There was something going on where I don't know the full context of this, but I know that they needed more, some project, animated series or video game or something needed more Sith Lords and more Darths in the game. And Lucas was like, well, I could just give you some more Sith names. And they were like, yes, of course, George Lucas, he'll give us these amazing Sith Lord names. And he came up with, he's like Darth Icky and Darth Insanius. So like, this
was The Force Away. I'm sorry. This was The Force Unleashed.
Okay,
and because
the game, yeah.
And because Star Killer, the main character in that game, is a Sith apprentice, but not a Sith. But they were like, well, what if we gave him a full Sith name? And then his suggestions were Darth Insanius and Darth Icky. Those are the two he was allowing them to use. And is he trolling them, or
I
would
don't
he?
know.
Because
I
we
don't
don't
know
know
if
that.
he's like if he. I don't know if he truly thinks those are gems or if he's just like,
That's
yeah.
the genius of Lucas is that we don't know if he was fucking with
Did
them,
he mull over them for 3 weeks and
or if
then
he's
just
like,
like, all
okay,
right,
I've been holding on to a couple good ones.
yeah, I've or like I just came up with a lot, but I've narrowed it down to the two best, and then he like hands you these fucking pocket turds.
Yeah, but this is because I'm trying to think of Lucas's rare acting roles. Now he's in Beverly Hills Cop 3, but Landis just liked to put directors in his movies. So like, all these directors pop up in Landis movies randomly. But when he was on, he did play himself on the OC, and that was a crazy moment. Where he and Adam Brody had dinner on the OC together.
He
And
loves minions and Brodies. Yeah.
yes, there you go. And Teen Six.
Anyway, he's gonna voice Minions and Monsters, so have at it. However you feel about this, if you're gonna go see it, if you weren't gonna see my Minions and Monsters, and this tips you over into like first day, first row,
If now you just buy a ticket for the new George Lucas, please.
and then you leave as soon as his cameo's done, yeah, you're like, I saw what I came to see. Then we let's move on to the sad news here, which is the death of James Burrows, aka Jimmy Burrows, in the TV industry mostly. Did you know that my mom was directed by Jim Burrows?
I did not know that.
Okay, so as my mom passed away a few months back, and I was going through a lot of her photos. She worked in theater for decades and decades, has trotted the boards, and I found an old like pamphlet flyer of James Burrows production that she was in like 1968 or something like that.
Wow.
Anyway, he came from theater, but he is known as this sort of like godfather of modern sitcoms in a way, which is mostly due to his run on Cheers, which is a series he co-created after already directing sitcoms for a while, starting on like the Mary Tyler Moore Show and then the Bob Newhart Show, but then like directing over half the episodes of Taxi. That was like his big thing before Cheers, because he would still do a ton of like individual or a couple of episodes here or there of other shows, but his big one was Taxi, then Cheers, which was this juggernaut, this Emmy Award winning classic sitcom, and then he would direct 30 episodes of Frasier and 20 episodes of Friends, and he also was like, I think he was the main dude for Will and Grace, right? Wasn't that another one of
yes,
his?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I think he did all the episodes of the revival of Will and Grace. But Cheers is crazy because he directed 237 episodes out of 275. So he directed almost all of Cheers.
And he was also integral in the casting,
right, because
he's the one who pushed for Ted Danson when they wanted, I don't know, they wanted Fred Dryer and they wanted other people,
Right. It's interesting that Cheers, I think, is the only show he has a co-creator credit on, and he doesn't have a writing credit on it, but he was, like you're mentioning, he was integral to the actual development of that show. And because after that, he became known because he was one of the, because he was so respected and known as like such a great sort of sitcom voice, he would be hired to do pilots. And so he did the Big Bang Theory pilot and Two and a Half Men, and he did like these huge shows, but he wasn't like the regular director for those shows. Even if he came back and did some episodes.
It was a big thing that he did it for a while, the pilots, which is like, let's start this sitcom off right with a James Burrows directed episode and let the master do his work. And then a lot of those, shows would get canceled after one season or whatever, but he would do a lot of pilots as well. Yeah.
Yes, but then he did 15 episodes of Friends. And I'll say, growing up, it's like, okay, first I was a huge Cheers fan. So just in general, I was seeing his name every week because not only as a director most times, but as a co-creator. Again, that show really standing out because he had a co-creator credit. But then you just start to notice it's just like one of those names that gets seeped into your head because he is so omnipresent. And we go into the 90s and his name is all over these other sitcoms.
Wings, News Radio, Caroline in the City, and he got Emmy nominations for directing the pilots of Dharma and Greg, Third Rock from the Sun.
Yes. He won 11 Emmys, so yeah, just amazingly accomplished, and also just a workhorse. Because I'm like, dude was, he died at 85, but his last two credits, he directed 4 episodes of the Frasier revival, but then, which was only a couple years ago, and then last year, that Hulu sitcom Mid-Century Modern, well reviewed, only was one season, the one with Nathan Lane, Matt Bomer. he directed every episode of that, and I'm like,
Hmm.
damn. And he's like 84 and
Was
directing
it when
like
he
every
was
episode.
also behind all those like live TV Norman Lear specials that just
Yes,
happened over
that
the past few
that
years? Yeah.
Kimmel produced. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like, very, yeah, he's one of those people, whether you knew his name or not, was just like a hugely influential part of just the TV landscape, because he just kept over and like, if he'd only done Cheers, it would have been, that would have been a huge deal. But the fact that after that he kept being so, tied into successful sitcoms and, just very
I mean,
iconic
he
shows.
did a lot of stuff for CBS too, like the Big Bang Theories and the Two Broke Girls and the
He directed one of his one season shows. I mean, it wasn't his show again, director show. They just had him direct the pilot for. But Ship My Dad Says, which Matt Fowler did a interview with William Shatner for at the Warner Brothers booth at Comic-Con. I was just telling that story to someone.
yeah, there was the weird thing where it was a blog, right? That was a whole thing where it's just like it was like one of the first instances of something from online becoming something
It
in
was a
TV
Twitter
or
account.
Twitter. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that was super. That was back when Twitter was a good thing, and not a bad thing. All right. R.I.P. Jimmy Burrows,
Yeah.
legend. I'm assuming he has already. If not, constantly comes up in our nominations list of like TCA Career Awards or whatever it's called.
Yeah, he might already. I
I feel
can't
like
remember.
he has one.
Yeah, I have a feeling he does too, because certainly it's hard to think of other people who've earned it more.
All right. Do you want to do video game news or do you want to do the animation stuff? From
Uh,
Annecy?
Annecy,
Isn't that in France? What is that?
I believe it's in France. It's good. It's still. I think it's ending today. I mean, it's a few day festival.
I
Uh,
see. I see. It's a
yeah,
festival in France.
it's a
Okay.
festival. They do screenings there. They do a lot of news that comes out of there. Oh, it actually ends tomorrow, the 21st through the 27th. But yeah, so this festival, a lot of news coming out of this. But it's funny timing because Toy Story 5 just opened, and I saw many people lament, hey, it's sad we don't get the shorts before Pixar movies anymore. That used to be like a thing, and it was a throwback thing even to do that. But it was
You
like
know what? You know what ruined it?
yes.
The I Lava You one.
Oh.
They were like, this far, no further. Please no.
I thought you were going to give the real answer, which is Disney
I
Plus. Yeah, Disney Plus, and like, if we're going to make anything, it's going to go here. But I think in a sign of the times, and just funny timing because people were just complaining about this, was like the instant announcement of the fact that there are two theatrical shorts coming from Disney, one produced by Pixar, one by Disney Animation. Lilo and Scratch, you can guess what both of these are spinoffs of. Lilo and Scratch and Loving Dory, that's obviously the Pixar one, the second one, are both coming. And the Lilo one, Lilo and Stitch one, is the interesting one because it will be a hybrid of 2D and 3D animation, because obviously Lilo and Stitch was one of the final traditionally animated movies, 2D animated movies from Disney. And so it'd be a little weird, I think, to have a new short that looks all 3D, but I guess it's a hybrid, and some of it'll be digital that looks like 2D, and a bunch of different techniques mixed together. And has a big Lilo and Stitch fan. That sounds cool to me. And it's,
And you did not misspeak. It's Lilo and Scratch because she finds an alien cat or
she
something.
finds an alien, the actual title of the short.
It's like a flirkin or whatever.
Yes. And obviously, anything Lilo and Stitch right now has this sort of sad timing of DeVay Chase just passing away. But I guess this is it takes place right
Did
after.
she get to do this?
They wouldn't have had her do it because she hasn't had an adult voice. She did Lilo's voice until she was.
So is this is grown Lilo?
No, I'm saying
Oh.
DeVay Chase, they wouldn't have had her voice little girl Lilo, in her 30s.
Okay, so her voice was like her voice as a kid, and so she wasn't like a voice actor per se doing a kid voice like
No,
voice actors do.
Right,
Got it.
right,
Okay.
right. It's actually going to be Maya Kaloa, am I saying her name right? Who plays Lilo in the current live action movies, which makes sense that she will.
Okay.
That she will voice, even though this is following up the animated movie. This is actually a good moment to a little bit of news we didn't mention, and I meant to piggyback it onto the DeVay Chase conversation we had last week, which is interesting that Chris Sanders is going to co-direct or direct, I can't remember, the Lilo and Stitch live action sequel, Chris Sanders is, co-director and creator of the original animated movie. He made The Wild Robot, but he's voiced Stitch from the beginning. He's always voiced Stitch. Even as he started making movies for DreamWorks, he would still be called back to play Stitch in a million different things because Stitch is like one of their biggest money makers possible. But he's actually returning to direct this character in the next live action movie. So that's just an adjunct to that. But I'm very happy that they're doing these animated shorts, theatrical animated shorts again, because it's a nice thing, Matt. I like it as part of the experience.
Maybe.
You hated that one so much.
And then Loving Dory is from I never actually saw Finding Dory.
It was okay. It was like Incredibles. Yeah. It was like Incredibles 2, where it was like it wasn't like bad, but I was like, okay, like the first.
It was one of the okay sequels where it was, but it still made a lot of money just because of what it was.
Jesus, yeah, and because it wasn't bad, because it was a beloved franchise.
You just have to be like. Just be mediocre and you could do really well.
Yes.
Okay, and then other news coming out of there is a DC animated series in
three DC animated
in the form of an anime called Joker Laugh Riot, which is from award-winning director Yasuhiro Aoki, and it involves
it's Mega
involves the Joker. It's involves the Joker. Yeah, as he launches into a ruthless crusade through Gotham's underworld to find Batman's killer. Spoiler for Laugh Riot, who took away the setup. Who took away his greatest adversary, and incidentally, his own kill, the kill he thought was owed to him. So, it could be Mega Man. I'm sure but also through this quest, he must face uncomfortable truths about himself, mainly that he's crazy and a murderer. Yeah, probably. Anyway. That's Joker Laugh Riot, and that is the anime. I don't think the other two are, but then there's like a silly crypto series from C.H. Greenblatt, who worked on Chowder and Jellystone, and also SpongeBob. I believe he comes from that world which just follows crypto around doing crypto things. Who tags along with a gang of misfit criminal wannabes who live down the block. And that's the crypto show. And then there's Absolute Batman. What is that one? It's based on a comic.
Yeah, Absolute So the Absolute line is like Marvel, like what Marvel did with Ultimate, which is to say, like, here's a more accessible, a separate continuity that doesn't have the baggage of decades and in some cases almost 100 years of continuity to deal with. And I have not read any of Absolute Batman, but I know people fucking love it. Like, and it's giant burly version of Batman with his weird looking bat symbol that barely looks like a bat. But people, it definitely was one of those situations, Matt, of people snarking on the early images of something and then being like, this rules. And people are really, really into this comic book, and now they're going to make an animated version of it.
All right. Well,
so lots of stuff. It's interesting because I know James Gunn has talked about, like, he loves animation, and it was going to be like a thing he wanted to do a lot more of. So it was funny that 3 shows announced all at once. This is not the first crypto show. There was the one like about 20 years ago. I think Paul Dini worked on that one. So obviously a easy go-to character for.
I mean, are these all part of the DCU?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You mentioned James Gunn, so I'm like, okay.
No, it's DC Studios. It's like So it's like he's overseeing all of this.
But I'm saying it's not like Creature Commandos.
No.
Which is okay.
But
will the crypto? What is the crypto going to look like? Is it look like the crypto from his movies, or is he going to look like the crypto from the comics or the old animated shows? Right? Like
yes. And the press release specifically says that crypto is kids, and Absolute Batman and Joker Laugh Riot are both marked as adults. So those are skewed older in their aim and who they're looking for an audience.
In other WB animation news, as they pluck through every IP they have, we're going to give Dark Shadows a go again with an animated series this time, an adult animated series of Dark Shadows, which for those who doesn't immediately spring to mind, it was a weird 60s daytime soap that lasted for 5 years, and it was about a vampire family, and it was sort of like this horror tinge soap opera that had a cult following, and not a long run, but a cult following. that got also turned into a live action movie in 2012, I believe.
Yeah, and that's what everyone's gonna think of, Matt.
I don't know if people are gonna think of that. That was like what 14 years ago now. So
It was, but it's still
and it wasn't good. So
yeah. Made a little bit of money, but yeah. Dark Shadows. I think this is really fun. If you are going to be a studio exploiting every IP you possibly can, I think rather than do another Dark Shadows movie or even a live action series, doing a adult animated series, I just intrinsically think that that's kind of a cool approach. And so I hope for the best.
we all hope for the best, Eric.
We do. Well, do we? I don't know these days.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't hope for the best for Minions and Monsters. I don't know. It'll be fine. It doesn't need me. It doesn't need my opinion. It doesn't need me weighing in one way or another. It is what it is. Okay, so we have, as Eric rounded up some stories into something just called Video Game TV Show Roundup, we have some news about Fallout Season 3 at this point, which Manny Jacinto, who's like, if I can't be a hot Sith in this franchise, I'm going to join another sci-fi franchise and be in Fallout Season 3. Manny Jacinto of The Acolyte and, of course, The Good Place.
Yep.
Is joining Fallout Season 3 along with Thomasin McKenzie and Emily Mortimer. Eric, if they are not playing either mother or daughter or older and younger versions of themselves, I don't know why these two are cast in the same sentence. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because they're kind of spitting image.
They are very similar looking, and like them both. Thomas McKenzie's great in her soft spokenness. But yeah, this is all cool casting to me. Manny Jacinto, who I think kind of the Acolyte, because we live in our stupid modern age, had to become so goddamn lightning rod. We just talked about this with Supergirl. Listen to our Patreon exclusive Supergirl episode for all you Hudson Hawkers. And if you're not a Hudson Hawker, now's the time to join. But, people can't be normal. People can't just like or dislike a thing on its own terms. So the Acolyte being another thing where it's like, you can't just be like, I don't like that. It has to be like woke DEI, everything, whatever.
Well, actually BJ Colangelo, I believe that's how you pronounce their last name, went on about, the Supergirl discourse and that anything female led can't just be reviewed on its own by either side. And it's a shame, which is to say, like, because it's either bad faith bullshit or is it just somebody, am I biased because I'm defending it from what I know is like slings and arrows from toxic people. You know what I mean? Like, even if
or something I don't think is actually great, but because it's getting bad faith attacks, then I have to be in the weird position.
But there's no vacuum. There's no vacuum for these shows, and the Acolyte was definitely that, of course, too.
Yes. But I will say that Manny Jacinto kind of got the best of it, which is to say, even some people who were over the top hating on it were like, he was cool, or like, I would have liked if that character weren't in a girl show, maybe I would have liked it. So, and then there's just people who just love him, and well, they should. And there are people that were like, hot Sith. I'm glad that he is going to, keep on doing stuff and appearing in things I like, even though two of the TV shows we're talking about right now are shows I really like the first season of and have not yet seen the second season of. And that's
two of these shows I have seen both seasons that I love. So, and that brings me to a show I do like still after season 2 called Twisted Metal, which I believe I recommended on this show when it first came out. Is a very fun, bawdy, raunchy, silly, ridiculous show that Mark Hamill is joining for season 3. So there you go.
And
I didn't look into who he's playing. And I also don't know Twisted Metal lore. So whatever.
Well, I can't remember the name of his character, and it's some funny.
See. But I'll pull it up in case we have Twisted.
He's playing.
No,
While you're looking
at
it up. He's Sweet Tooth's dad. He's playing Sweet Tooth's dad. But he's got a name.
Hold on, I'm gonna find the answer here pretty soon.
Okay, but while you're looking for that, I'm just
delighted that Mark Hamill gets to share the screen with Samoa Joe. So
that's what I was about to say.
No, I'm stealing everything, and I'm going to look up who he's playing. He's playing Pope Charlie Kane,
the
leader of the Eastern Sovereignty and estranged father of Sweet Tooth.
Damn it! Anyway, it's fun that he's going to be sharing the screen with Smojo.
Um, you know what I'm excited about?
No.
That Samoa Joe gets to work with Mark Hamill.
All right, that is true. Anyway, I endorse all this casting, and I need to catch up on those two shows.
Okay, and then a show we haven't seen, but I have played one of the games of the franchise of because I played Far Cry 3, but not the others, is the Far Cry show that's coming from Noah Hawley that is also being produced by
Rob Mack.
Rob Mack.
Robbie Mack.
Robbie Mack. Robert Mackinson. Formerly the artist known formerly as Rob McElhenney of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He is also starring in the show, along with the newly added Lizzy Caplan. Mm-hmm. So Lizzy Caplan has joined this Far Cry series. We don't know who either actor is playing, but it's just about a exotic tropical location and a lot of danger and bullets and murder. So, right. But Noah Hawley's doing it, and he has already stated, I believe, he's not drawing from any game, which sounds very Noah Hawley. So
yeah, although this is, Zach Kreger is doing the same with Resident Evil, and of course taking heat for that.
Zach Kreger, I don't know Noah Hawley's fandom though.
Right.
All I can speak to, and this is just information. It's not a good or a bad thing because we don't know what the final product is. But like Zach Kreger is a massive Resident Evil game franchise fan.
Yes.
So he's excited to do it. So it gives you a little more, it makes you a little more excited just knowing that he's not coming at it from like an obtuse angle. Yes. Noah Hawley, you never know what the fuck he's going to do. It could be a musical. I don't know.
It could be. But would you be shocked that there are still a sect of Resident Evil fans who are still really mad that Kreger is doing an original story with original characters and not adapting?
It's interesting because I don't know any other video game fandom that's been more well fucking fed than the Resident Evil people with its numerous movies and TV shows and online bullshit and like YouTube stuff. Like there's so much. Like just shut the fuck up. If anything, let
the really good director direct. In Tangent on Tangent news, I'll also mention I'm very happy that Barbarian, Zach Kreger's Barbarian, is getting a 4K physical release in the slow battle to get stuff that got passed over its physical media release. And Barbarian was weird that it got skipped, only because we understood like the Hulu movies, even though it was shitty that they didn't get them, but then we did get Prey and like things are happening. But Barbarian got a theatrical release and it was very well received, and yet they didn't
and it did well.
And
it wasn't like a blockbuster like Weapons, but it did well.
It did well. But probably spurred on by Weapons' success, Disney is giving it a physical release this summer, and I am very happy about that.
Has Barbarian had a scare zone?
Well, no, it can't because it's Disney and Universal. It sucks. It makes me so mad that it's like, that there's so many good things that could go to horror nights that won't.
You know how, like, at Christmas time, they've got the Headless Horseman that goes down in Magic Kingdom, which is awesome. And if you ever get a chance to just watch this thing slowly galump down Main Street, you should. It's awesome.
And they do it at California Adventure for Oogie Boogie, the Headless Horseman.
They do? Okay, so California gets it too. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They should have the fucking... I don't know what's the name of the woman that lives. Spoilers for what's the name of Barbarian? Does Barbarian have a name?
I think Barbarian has a name. That's what I'm gonna look.
I'm just saying, like, what do we call it? Like, is it like the blob, the entity, the whatever? Is it like the offspring, the infant, or whatever?
It's called. I thought this. I almost said Mama. It's called the Mother.
Okay, there we go. The mother walks down Main Street at a Disney property of some sort. Maybe Animal Kingdom. How about that? We have no write-ins, Eric. So I lied about the use part at the top.
What a liar!
Nobody cares about Insidious, apparently, or us. I get, they're probably over us, and I can't say I blame them, so it's okay. But if you would like to still write in about something, anything really, but because we're still doing the Insidious films. We're at weenjoypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find the YouTube channel if you want to listen to our podcast that way. Comment on any of those things, and or comment on Patreon or I guess Eric on X, Twitter. I don't know. I don't do
Mm-hmm.
that. You do it. Okay. I know you do it occasionally, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's it like over there? Bad stuff?
Well, it's bad. It's bad, but there's a thrill to it.
Jesus Christ.
It's the only way I stay alive. I feel alive.
That's the only way I feel something. Yeah.
Right.
My morning cup of fucking like anger and outrage. Okay. Um, I don't really have a recommendation except to say this fucking stupid ass Little Brother on Netflix was better than I thought it would be. That's my slight recommendation. It's ridiculous. Which is John Cena and Eric Andre as a mismatched duo in the long-standing comedy subgenre of guy bothers another guy, which you can watch in Planes, Trains, Automobiles and What About Bob. If you love SpongeBob, that's like the entire show of SpongeBob.
The Odd Couple,
guy bothering other guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The physical stupidity that they put Eric Andre through is I cackled a few times. It's like a better effort of a Farrelly brother, though it's not by a Farrelly brother, though it was written by a co-creator of The Grinder, which in itself is guy bothering another guy.
The TV show The Grinder, yes.
The Grinder, which is again, maybe that's my real recommendation, and I'm sure I've talked about it years past.
You did,
which is the one and only season of The Grinder. If you can find it, watch that. It's great. Okay, what's your recommendation, Eric?
I'll do two, because you mentioned Eric Andre, and that made me think about Jackass, because he was in the fourth movie, and you see him briefly in the fifth movie, which Jackass Best and Last, which is a very fond farewell to the franchise, and
you should tell people something I didn't realize, which is that it's also a clip show.
Right? Well, I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people do know that, but I will mention, it's a half and half. It's a looking back greatest hits mixed with new stuff. And it's not, it instantly by its nature, it can't be like one of the best ones, especially because the new stuff they're doing is not as big scale as stuff in the past. And that makes sense because they're all in their mid 50s now and they cannot physically do what they used to do. But
under doctor's orders, they can't do what they
Knoxville
used to do,
under doctor's orders. Yeah. But it is, it's still very well done. And even the old stuff that there's often additional footage, context provided. One of my favorite bits ever, the Brad Pitt gets abducted from the TV show. They both introduce it and talk about how it happened a little bit more. And then they add a little bit more stuff we didn't see of like Brad Pitt in the van with the guys. And so, yeah, it's all really well done. And
make your pitch for this being a theatrical watch, because this sounds like a Peacock special.
Oh, so, I mean, because Jackass movies are so fun with an audience, and I've seen this one. There you go. The last two nights I've saw this movie in a theater.
Laugh with strangers.
Laugh and almost vomit with strangers. Because don't worry, there is both archival and new footage involving copious amounts of feces that do test your limits.
If you've got a sensitive tongue, maybe wait till it comes on digital.
But no, it's very fun. And if you're a Jackass fan, it's also that thing of the last couple movies where it's also like, oh no, I'm actually feeling emotions, and because it's such a big farewell movie and it's really kind of a coda to it all, and Knoxville himself is like almost crying twice in the movie because he's sad it's ending, and they show a lot of old footage. It's very nostalgic and it works really well on that level. So yeah, Jackass Best and Last. But then my other one that I intended to do before you mentioned Eric Andre is The Invite, which I know is in. I don't know.
Oh, did you see that? Okay.
I have seen it. What if I said nope?
Nope. I just like everyone involved and wanted to do good things for it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's open this weekend. I don't know if it's a wide release, but so it might be in somewhat limited release. But new movie directed by Olivia Wilde, written by Rashida Jones and Will Cormack, and starring Wilde alongside Seth Rogen, Penelope Cruz, and Edward Norton. This is just a really funny comedy, and it's a really funny modern comedy that is not high concept, doesn't involve, it's not a comedy horror or comedy sci-fi or comedy action. It's just people talking comedy, and it's a reminder of how satisfying that can be. 4 great actors, really giving like truly great performances. This might be one of my favorite like performances by Olivia Wilde. And her and Seth Rogen are a married couple who invite over for dinner their neighbors, their new neighbors, played by Edward Norton and Penelope Cruz. And it gets very awkward, very uncomfortable. And it's one of those, it's one of those comedies where like tensions rise, truths are revealed. This married couple, the Wilde and Rogan couple, have a lot of resentments that have been building up. Things coming out, and as the trailer insinuates, this other couple or might be a little more freewheeling with their lifestyle and might have a proposition for our other couple. Anyway, it's great, and the actors are all so good together. And I really have to commend Olivia Wilde as a director because I really liked Booksmart, her first movie. And then she got so much shit for Don't Worry, Darling. And Don't Worry, Darling didn't work, but she also like was clearly like kind of like this was like we've turned on Olivia Wilde, and we don't like the Harry Styles relationship, and there's rumors that her and Florence Pugh fought on set, so we're siding with Florence Pugh. So like there was like real knives out on that movie for her that felt like unfair. And so I'm really happy to see that she's directing another movie and it's so good, and it's just like, oh, okay, another really satisfying comedy. I mean, again, Don't Worry, Darling wasn't a great movie, and maybe it was just not something that
Is it released this week? You said limited. I was looking.
Yeah, it's out now. Anyway,
I thought it was at Alamo, but I guess I was wrong.
So really liked it. The ending, there were a couple little things I wish were a little different about the ending. But overall, it's just really funny. It's also really funny too. Like it's just like back and forth. You could easily see. I'll say this, Matt. On one hand, I'm going to say I can see it as a play because it's very small scale.
Yeah.
But also, we're seeing in a theater because, again, communal experience of laughter. And even at my small press screening, there's a big class. Also, really great Seth Rogen performance. I like that he put her in the studio and then she put him in this. And it's kind of a classic Seth Rogen performance on some levels. His character likes to smoke pot, but he gets to go to some different places because he's kind of this guy sitting on 20 years of regret about where his life and his marriage has turned out. Anyway, The Invite. Go see it.
I don't like to see my hero sad.
But they're still funny. They're sad and
okay.
funny. Yeah.
Okay, The Invite. If I can find it, I want to see it. I've gotten enough emails from Alamo about The Invite that I didn't like PR emails that I didn't like crack open that I just assumed it was playing there, and now I can't find it in my market. So whatever fucking PR emails. Okay. The Invite. Jack Hassery.
I will mention again tangenting that there was a press release this morning that made me happy that Focus is giving a 25th anniversary release of Wet Hot American Summer coming in August 14th. So like theaters everywhere, but that they specifically mentioned the Alamo Drafthouse 25th anniversary parties at 10 locations.
Sure.
Where you'll get.
I mean, they give you. I've been to a few of those. They give you silly props and stuff.
But this one has a one-of-a-kind 25th anniversary T-shirt, a very red headband.
Oh, I hope it's a raglan. Is it one of those fucking like red camp shirts? Oh my god. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, and going back to Olivia Wilde, Don't Worry, Darling was also brought up a bunch of times over the past month because people were bringing up movies like that and Don't Blink in the wake of like Obsession and stuff about like robbing women of their agency and that type of thing. For those who have seen Don't Worry, Darling, I won't spoil it for you.
Oh, damn it. Now I'm forgetting about, there was also something recently that made me think of Don't Worry, Darling, because what was a recent show or movie about like, this neighborhood isn't right?
The Burrows.
The Burrows. Yeah.
Because it was also in the desert.
No, I did. That's right. That's where I thought of it. Yeah.
All right. That's been our episode this week. Hope you enjoyed it. We've got, what is it? Insidious, The Last Key.
The Last Key. Not the last movie, but The Last Key.
Oh, man. All right. Until next time, everything is possible, but nothing is real. And Shakma.
Shakma.